What's happening? It's your guy King David, TrapMonster.com. Here today I'm going to be talking about a list really that I had compiled, man, throughout the year or so that I've been working with Maschine. Just a lot of things that it doesn't have, features it does not have compared to your Logic or Pro Tools, Fruity Loops, hell, even Reasons, you know what I'm saying? Not to say Reasons is bad or anything like that, but the thing is that it just doesn't have a lot of little small features that I just wish it really had, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the subscriber, man, that kind of called it out too, though. They had asked me, do I have the Fab Filter paragraph EQ? This machine has that, and it don't. And there's been a few other people who have commented about things that Maschine don't have and how it's kind of behind in software, but ahead like 15-20 years in the game when it comes to the hardware. So in ways they right, because I've been feeling the same way. So I just wanted to express my feelings about Maschine 2 and the software, not necessarily the hardware, but it's the software that is an issue, because in a lot of different ways they're kind of behind the ball game, and they are, and I'm about to reveal these things. So the first thing, of course, is the paragraph EQ. You know what I'm saying? I'm a visual person. I like to see how much of the signal, if I'm boosting or cutting, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really have that option when it comes to paragraph EQ. When it comes to their EQ, should I say, because their EQ is this right here. You don't see nothing. How much of the frequency you cutting, where it's boosting at, where the frequency, where the low end of the frequency is starting at. You don't see any of that. You just gotta kind of play it by ear. And me, right along, I'm pretty sure with a lot of people in the world now, we're physical people that like to see things. You know what I'm saying? We need to see it in order for us to know what we're doing. And a lot of people don't really trust ears a lot like that. They like to see it too. So that's one of the things. I have 8 things actually to rant and complain about when it comes to Maschine 2 and their software. Given the fact that I am a big user and advocate of Maschine, I love Maschine, I love the workflow, I work really, really good in it, but at the same time there is some flaws and some things that they need to upgrade. And I know I read about the Contact and about Contact 6, you know what I'm saying, and the capabilities that I would like to have when it comes to Contact. I feel it's kind of like the same thing with Maschine. So the next thing that I have is the curve automation. Now, they don't have a smooth curve to their automation when you're doing automating a lot of times. You get this right here, depending on the grid value that you have. And in that, I have it at 1 and 30. I can't really even talk right now today, but there's been a lot going on. But the thing is that the grid value, you have to have it in 1/28 in order to get somewhat of a fine transition. You know what I'm saying? Whereas that right here, you see how I got it to be a little bit more finer, and that's only because I have it at 1/28 of a note, grid note. So that right there is the reason why I got it like that, how I got it like that. This right here comes from 1/32, 1/16, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So you see how choppy it is? Like, if I wanted this to be a lot more of a smoother line, it's not going to give me that. It's going to give it to me straight on the grid every single time. Even at 1/28, it's going to give me straight by the grid, you know what I'm saying? And I might not want that. I probably want something a lot more smoother. And so that's one. Here's another one. Actually, is a paragraph compressor. I like to see, be able to see my compression. How much am I compressing the signal? And I don't really have that. You have it. You see it in. Let me see. You'll have it right here, right? You know what I'm saying? But you don't really see it where you compressing it. How much are you compressing? You can see it just a little bit, but when it comes to the Fab Filter joint, it's totally different. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, actually, I'm gonna bring those compressors and EQs up too. I'm gonna do it right now. But the reason why I say that is because they partnered up with soft tube, and they still don't have a paragraph EQ or compressor. You know what I'm saying? Even being partnered up with a whole totally different company, they still don't have it really like that. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, First Mind, I think they should have just partnered up with Fab Filter. Shit, really, you know what I'm saying? Be really truthful about the whole situation. At least we'll be able to see some shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I'm feeling. You know, hit a note and you're gonna see all that. You know what I'm saying? Here's the EQ. I'm gonna bring up the compressor. Same thing though. Let me bring this motherfucker out the way. The compressor, the same way. You know what I'm saying? So it just a headache a lot of times when you having to use their stuff, and you can use their stuff, but it just, like I said, if you're a person who like to visually see your stuff, you're not gonna be able to see it. So let me go to the next thing. Here's another one. Being able to change the GUI on the whole outlay of this. Maybe you get tired of looking at this dark charcoal gray. Maybe you want it white, or who knows, purple, or some shit, blue, or something like that, or red, or something. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to change that. You know what I'm saying? You're able to do it in Fruity Loops. You can do it in Logic. You can change the GUI in Logic. You can do it in Ableton Live. You know what I'm saying? You can change the GUI and the color theme of it and everything, or have some kind of custom thing with it or whatnot. Be able to change that shit. You know what I'm saying? It stimulates the mind and eyes a little bit more to be able to think more creatively. You know what I'm saying? And it just does something creatively for a person. A lot of times, it's being able to change up on the GUI, inspire them in a totally different way. So definitely, visual is important when it comes to creating, because it inspires you in a totally different way. So definitely being able to change that, it'd be pretty dope. Another thing is they need a dedicated loudness meter in this thing. I'm tired of going to Isotope, you know what I'm saying, to be able to see how loud is my stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I normally use the Insight plugin, and let's see, let me pull it up, and I utilize their loudness meter to make sure I got a balanced mix, you know what I'm saying? Make sure ain't nothing too loud or anything like that. They need a dedicated motherfucking loudness meter in this thing, you know what I'm saying? Like their little mixer board ain't enough, you know, it's too damn small. You can't even see the meter like that a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? So they need a dedicated loudness meter, definitely. Another thing is a better chopping, like when you're doing samples and chopping. To me, when I like to chop, I like the new function that they have, you know what I'm saying? I like the function that when you sampling, you can hit the pad and then it blinks again, and you hit it where you want to chop at, you know what I'm saying? This is that all the way down, however you want to do it. But here's the one thing I don't like. It's kind of weird to me, is that as I'm chopping, it's still on that one fucking pad right here, really. It's just chopped all the way across the pads. And then you gotta take it and drop the whole damn thing to a whole nother track in order to get it on all 16. I don't want it like that. If I'm chopping it, let me chop every time I chop, it just moves down this pad to this pad right here. It just automatically, when I'm chopping from here, it just boom to the next one. Boom to the next one, and it just, you know what I'm saying, as I'm chopping, it's going actually into these pads right here, and I can actually just play it out. I shouldn't have to take those chops from this one pad right here and then drag it over into a whole nother group just to be able to have my chops at all my pads. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to do it like that. So definitely doing fixing that. Here's a really good one right here. It's auto fucking save. Why the fuck do they not have auto save by now? That's one of the biggest things that I've been experiencing within this last week when I shoot my cook-ups and all this and all that. And I've been wanting to put out a lot more videos, but a lot of fucking time when I'm doing my cook-ups, I'm videotaping, screen capturing, the fucking shit drop out on me, you know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, I lost this shit forever. Definitely if you ain't saved it, you know what I'm saying? So you may be in the mood to making the shit, you ain't saved it, you don't even know what you're gonna call this motherfucking beat, any damn thing. You just playing your melody, chord progression, whatever you're doing, and you just going, you just creating. And then all of a sudden the motherfucker drops out on you. And you got the shit going, you know what I'm saying? You can cook up hard, strong, you know what I'm saying? But then you lose the shit. So now you gotta fucking try to figure out how to fucking get all the sounds back, how'd you play it, and all this and all that. That's doing too fucking much. Unlike Logic, when you creating Logic, as soon as that motherfucker drop out, you ain't gotta save it or anything like that. It's gonna auto save. If it drop out, you open it back up, it's gonna bring it right back up and have an option. Do you want to auto save? And you click that, and that motherfucker gonna open right back up to every instrument and everything that you had on the grid without ever even saving that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I like to have them implement that in this next fucking upgrade, you know what I'm saying, to be able to have some auto save in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? At least every 5 minutes, give me an option between 5 to 20 minutes, it's gonna auto save, and if it happened to crash, then it's gonna save that shit, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to go back through and try to refigure out how I made that beat and all this and all that. For what? Or have to save it before I get to going to the next thing. You wanna get to making shit as you go, and you in the groove, get to going, you know what I'm saying? And you knock the shit out, and you ain't gotta worry about having to save your shit. And if it fall out, fuck it, you fire that bitch back up and it's gonna be there, you know what I'm saying? It's no big thing. So that's a little bit of a hassle that I personally have been going through within the last week or so, you know what I'm saying? I ain't ever had to go through Maschine dropping out, but for some reason, with the new operating system that Mac has, my Maschine has been dropping out. My Maschine software has been acting a little funny, you know what I'm saying? So they need an autosave, you know what I'm saying? Definitely need that. Another thing that they need is to be able to record live instruments and vocals in this shit. I think that's part of another reason why I quit using Reasons, because back when Reasons, now right, Reasons, you're able to record vocals and instruments and stuff in, but back in 05, 09, back in that era, you know what I'm saying, like they didn't have any of that, and I wanted to be able to record vocals and instruments because I do utilize live instruments a lot of times in my tracks, but I haven't been able to use a Maschine because it doesn't have that feature like that, you know what I'm saying? You can record a sample in, you know what I'm saying, and shit, but it's weird doing that shit. It's time consuming, it's weird, it's not natural, you know what I'm saying, in a way. So they definitely need to implement some kind of a live instrument track that you can play your shit in, you know what I'm saying? And so that's pretty much the 8 things that I do not like right now about Maschine that I wish they'll just go ahead and update and upgrade to, because a lot of the DAWs nowadays do that shit, and it don't make no sense for them to be so far in advance when it comes to chords and scales and all this and all that, when at least give me some motherfucking autosave if I'm making a beat in y'all product that it's gonna be saved, regardless if I'm saving it and name it. I shouldn't have to do all that, but it should automatically just have some kind of mechanism to be able to already have that saved and ready for you just in case it do drop out. So that's my small little rant about Maschine, you know what I'm saying, and how they need to upgrade some shit and do some shit, you know what I'm saying. So this your guy King David. I am the plug. Till next time, peace.